Los Angeles, the pitching matchup for the first ever World Series Game 7 at Dodger Stadium will pit a brash 24-year-old son of a major leaguer versus a veteran trade acquisition who has spent just 3 months in a Dodgers uniform. Lance McCullers Jr. will take the mound for the Houston Astros, while the Dodgers will go with Darvish, both whom are hoping to rebound from rocky performances earlier in the series. Darvish quickly exited the clubhouse after the Dodgers' 3-1 win in Game 6 on Tuesday night before the rest of his teammates had even finished showering, but McCullers went out to right field and played catch, going through his pitches as fans were still exiting the ballpark. "I was in the bullpen toward the end, that's why I had to throw on the field post-game, just because I hadn't thrown yet, because I was hot and ready to go if the situation came up where they needed me." McCullers started Game 3 of the World Series, but he struggled with his command, walking 4 batters and giving up 3 runs in 51 thirds innings, before eventually getting credit for the win in Houston's 5-3 decision. He said that experience will help in Game 7. "I learned I wasn't very sharp," he said after Game 6. "I knew that early, though. So I knew it was going to be a grind for me pretty much the whole outing, which it was. This is a very good hitting team. They're patient, but they'll make you pay for mistakes. So I have to go out there and just execute my game plan. And I need to execute a little better in certain spots." The Astros' plan is to have everyone available behind McCullers, which means Game 6 starter Justin Verlander could pitch and that Game 5 starter Dallas Keuchel will definitely be ready to go in the bullpen. "I think all of our guys will have the adrenaline on their side," Astros manager A.J. Hinch said. "They are all going to be ready. Verlander will be a game-time decision as to whether he can give the Astros a batter or, maybe in the extreme, an inning." He threw 93 pitches in Game 6 and said he will play catch prior to Game 7 to evaluate how his right arm feels. "I think it depends on when I get to the ballpark," Verlander said. "I'll throw the ball and see if I'm available or not." Keuchel, who started Game 5 on Sunday in Houston, will be available, likely for 30 or 40 pitches, because normally during the season, after 2 days rest, Wednesday would be his throw day. Keuchel would not put a pitch limit on how much he could be used. "It's Game 7, I'll empty the tank," Keuchel said. The Astros didn't use relievers Brad Peacock, Will Harris or Chris Devenski in Game 6. With 2 days of rest, those 3 are expected to be fully available. Ken Giles, Houston's struggling closer, also didn't pitch in Game 6, but it would seem unlikely that Hinch would go to Giles unless he was forced to by the game's circumstances. Darvish also struggled in Game 3, with both fastball command and the grip on his slider, and lasted just 5 outs as the Astros pounded him for 6 hits and 4 runs. He threw 49 pitches in the outing and induced just 2 swings and misses out of 26 total swings. In the second inning, the Astros hit 7 line drives, 2 of them hard outs, off him. After Game 6, Darvish addressed his Game 3 performance. "After the first 2 games, I heard that Keuchel and Verlander were talking about the ball was flying, and I knew that. But before the bullpen on towards the 3rd game, I threw a bullpen session with a regular season ball. I didn't really realize until I got to the mound, and I knew that my slider wasn't breaking and sharp. And after the game I came back and I realized that my slider, I couldn't finish my pitches. I couldn't get that final touch. And then it just didn't make sense. And then I read about the ball being slick. And I really didn't know if it was my physical thing and mechanical adjustment that I had to make or the ball. I can't really say it. But that's it. And I just need to learn from it and go tomorrow night." Darvish did use a World Series ball in his bullpen session prior to Tuesday's game and said his slider was better. Should the Darvish struggle, the Dodgers could go to their ace, Clayton Kershaw. He was in the bullpen in Game 6 and will definitely be down there again in Game 7. "Same thing as tonight," Kershaw said after Game 6. "I'll be in the bullpen and ready to go in the first inning. Whatever they need." Kershaw joked that he could give the team 27 innings. He would be pitching on 2 days of rest after throwing 94 pitches in Game 5, when he allowed 6 runs in 42 thirds innings. If he makes an appearance, it would be a similar scenario to the 2014 World Series, when Madison Bumgarner started Game 5 for the San Francisco Giants and then threw the final 5 innings in relief as the Giants beat the Kansas City Royals 3-2, or last season, when Jon Lester started Game 5 for the Chicago Cubs and then threw 3 innings and 55 pitches in Game 7. Brandon Morrow has a